Hey there! Welcome to the Distracted Librarians podcast. We're your friendly neighborhood bookworms with a penchant for all things pop culture.
Picture this as our digital campfire, where we dive into our latest obsessions, analyze our favorite distractions, and rediscover the joy of reading.
Whether you're a media enthusiast, a book lover, or just need a break from the daily grind, you've come to the right spot.
So kick back, relax, and get delightfully distracted with us.
Hey everybody! On this episode of the Distracted Librarians, we're going to talk about Heated Rivalry.
Hey!
Drew's been waiting for this one.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, I'm Nicole.
I'm Drew.
I'm Killian.
I'm Amanda.
Okay, Heated Rivalry, real big deal right now.
So
Huge
hot
hit.
right now.
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to give like a really quick synopsis for those in the back that might not know what's going on with this. It is a sports romance TV show, TV series based on a book series, and it has received critical acclaim and became the most watched original series on Crave, which is the network that it has debuted on, and then the highest performing non-animated debut on HBO Max. So I guess you could say it's a big deal.
Very.
Very big deal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So why are we talking about it?
Because it's the thing.
It's the thing.
It's the moment.
I think also it's the moment because it might say that people need it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of post 2020, I remember sitting in on a librarian webinar and they talked about how fantasy was had a huge increase in publishing and sales. And I think it's sort of the same thing. People are like, we need some escape. We need some joy.
Mm-hmm.
We need some fun. We need love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also have a whole rant against binge culture and what the streaming services have done with dropping a whole season all at once and how it's really hard to form a cultural discussion around something that you constantly have to check spoilers and see where people are in the thing.
Okay.
And with the way that it was released episodically on Crave in Canada and therefore episodically on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
And it gave the time to talk about this specific 45-minute set, the content up to this point, and really get everyone on the same page before it moved forward together.
Sure.
And see, I didn't watch it until it was all out, and I watched it all in one day. So
Yeah. Okay, well, we know that it came from a book series. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the book series a little bit. I'm looking at you guys because I have not read the book series.
The book series is funny. The first book she wrote, she being Rachel Reid, the author, she wasn't super confident that she could make it work as a book. So when she was 50% into it, went through and rewrote the whole thing as if it was Stucky fan fiction.
Okay.
Stucky being Steve Rogers, Bucky Barnes pairing from The Avengers.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And published it in chapters on AO3, Archive of Our Own. It's a fan fiction site.
Okay.
And got community feedback that way to build up her confidence on it, and then wrote it back into original characters to publish.
Interesting.
Cool. I love that she had that whole process and made sure it was going to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And had a built-in fan base by then.
Yeah.
Who were very interested in seeing where it would go.
Which is interesting. I've listened to some of the creators, Jacob Tierney, talk about his process of the TV show. And he's like, I knew this was going to be a hit because the book already had a huge audience.
Well, and I had heard that they didn't publish enough books for when the show came out, that people were scrambling to get a copy of it and they just couldn't find it anywhere.
Oh yeah, bookstores on social media through all of those episodes coming out, people saw one episode and was like, I want to read the book.
Yeah.
And they were instantly trying to get copies. So I kept seeing bookstores posting, hey, we have copies back in stock.
Okay.
Every time they restocked.
Sure.
Because there was such a high demand.
Yeah. So was it published independently at first, or was it through an actual publisher?
It was through Harlequin.
Oh, okay. All right, fine. Yeah. they just did not understand how great it was going to be, I guess.
So to give you an idea of how popular, Heated Rivalry, the print sales increased 8,000%.
Wow.
So, and that's between November 30th to 2025 when the show premiered and January 17th, 2026. So 8,000% is hard to keep up with.
Yeah.
To be fair, these books were not brand new books that were turned into a TV show. The first book in the series was published in 2018.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't a recent debut that they didn't know was going to
Sure.
be successful. This had been around.
Yeah.
And had not seen that level of success.
Wow. And then
exactly.
overnight success.
Yeah.
Insane. That's just crazy.
Yeah, it definitely had its like cult classic following within the romance space and within the romance space. But no one was ready for it to break containment the way it did.
And what does mean?
Male.
There we go.
Yes.
So it looks like there are 6 books out already, and there is a 7th book that has been announced for September release.
For June 2027 now. As of literally today.
Really?
Yeah, as of literally the recording date for this episode.
They pushed it up because they were like, here you go.
On my way to work, I get a message from Drew in a group chat talking about how they've pushed this book back.
Oh, they pushed it back, not up. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was supposed to be
Gotcha.
this coming September. Now it's next year.
Oh,
June.
man. Okay.
Without going into too many details, because I don't know the details, Rachel Reid was semi-recently diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Okay.
And with the success of the show and all of the wonderful things that come with it is the pressure and the stress to continue delivering.
Yeah.
And stress is one of the worst
Well,
things
and I'm sure
in the world for like progressive diseases. So.
She has to show up at places. People want to see her now. Like, it's kind of a big deal. That's a lot. All right. So have you read all the books?
Yes.
Okay. Have you read all the books?
I am currently in the middle of the 4th book.
Okay. See, I didn't even finish watching the show, and I already want to read the first book. And I know that it's not about the main characters of the show, but I still want to read the book. I just want to dive right into it.
So the main characters of the show, Shane Hollander and Ilya Rozanov, are the main characters of books 2, 6, and soon to be 7.
Okay.
And then
Although they find their way in
Yes.
elsewhere.
Oh, good. That's good. Yeah. And then the first book is about Kip and Scott Hunter?
Yes.
Scott Hunter. Okay. Which I also love that they are included in the show. I was kind of like, when I got to the 3rd episode, I'm like, who the heck are these people? And why do we need to know this? But like, they're actually kind of the first big deal of
Yes.
the
They're
actual
also
series.
incredibly important for Ilya and Shane.
Yes. Which I realized from having read the episode descriptions. What a depressing way to like find out how things are going to happen. But I wasn't going to walk into this episode and be like, I don't know what happens at the end, and you guys are going to just spoil it for me. But
And we would have.
yes, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just dive into the actual TV show itself then. So we know we have Shane Hollander and Ilya Rozanov, and they are 2 professional hockey players who compete on rival teams. The teams are the fictional Montreal Metros and the Boston Raiders, which are based off the real-life rivalry of the Boston Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens in the NHL.
And in this case, it's the MLH.
Major Hockey League.
Major
Yeah.
League Hockey, I think. Major Hockey League, maybe?
Major League Hockey, yeah. I think
Okay.
right, yeah.
So their on-ice rivalry is boosted by media coverage and public intrigue. But in the background, they develop a private, casual sex relationship, which continues over several years as they move through their professional hockey careers. That's just a basis on kind of what's going on here for all y'all. I should mention that we may spoil the series for you. So if you are really excited about this, maybe don't listen to this episode until you've watched it all.
Go watch the show, come back.
Yes. Come back, but we'll be here.
The main characters are also loosely, of course, based on, I can do this, Sidney Crosby and Alexander Ovechkin
Yes.
in the actual NHL.
Right. And I read that.
Yeah.
I was excited about reading that because I was like, the characters and kind of what's going on seems so realistic in terms of like this could really, really happen. And I was like, this has to be based on a true story. And I went online and realized it's not. It's just sort of based on who the author thought would be a great couple to kind of chuck together and, you know, what would happen if they were in a romantic relationship.
Yes. And the rivalry is very much real. I don't know nearly enough about like NHL lore, but for whatever reason in like 2007, 2008, the NHL season was canceled.
Okay.
And so Sidney Crosby was the first drafted player of one of the years. Either the year it got canceled or the next one. And then Alexander Ovechkin was the other one. So the rivalry was sort of based on there's never been an incoming rookie class with 2 first draft picks. And the media played them off each other for years.
Okay.
Kind of still do.
Yeah.
Because they're both still playing.
Oh, okay. Well, it shows how much I know about hockey.
Well, and I went into this and heard this is based off these players. And I went, I know these names. Because my dad and brother are very into hockey. And I've heard them talk about these players for years. I'm like, okay, cool. I know these vaguely who these real life people are, at least.
Yeah. Well, I find it very interesting that romance in sports are kind of a hot thing. Just from like several people that I work with, it's like hockey romance is a huge deal. Whether it's or if it's female, but also like other sports too, it's kind of a thing. Hockey seems to be the most popular one though, for whatever reason.
Hockey has very much taken off. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that being said, like one of my audiobooks right now is a sapphic soccer romance.
Oh, okay.
So
that's cool.
There's definitely a lot out there.
Yeah. Nice. Let's see here. All right. So we know who's seen what, and we know who's read what. What are our opinions about the whole thing? Did you guys love the show?
I have no words.
You have no words. Okay. Well, we'll take that as you approve and you enjoyed.
It has, to probably an unhealthy level, been my personality for 3 months.
Okay.
/ for 3 years.
Have you considered watching a hockey game?
God, no.
I've done that before.
So,
it's not the same.
And that's the other thing, too. In many cases, the people that are reading these romances are not really into sports. It's more about, like, the competition and whatever underlying other things come with sport players playing together. And
it's also the atmosphere of, like, sports culture.
Yeah.
Where it's still this very hyper-masculine space where, like, the coming out stories of 10, 15 years ago aren't as necessary. I don't really want to say that because there are areas all over the country / world. But the hockey space and the sports space in general is still seen as regressive with comparison to the rest of the country. So it's a good setting for that kind of story to still be told.
Sure. I mean, everybody wants that the coming out. We want them to come out, and we want them to be happy and publicly open about all of it. Yeah. That was like one of the things that kind of touched me the most about the series is the struggle of the characters in coming out, because it's so difficult for them, especially in that time period, to be open about what's going on in their personal lives. So,
well, and it's interesting with Ilya and Shane specifically, they both have their own spaces in which they can't, and reasons in those spaces that they can't, but they're not necessarily the same.
Right. Totally. Because they're from completely different cultural experiences, and it's kind of wild.
Oh, and just for background, because I guess it might be obvious from his name. He's a Russian.
Right.
Yep.
And has a culture where is it technically illegal, or is it just...
Well, I think he would be basically shunned by everybody that knew him for being gay.
And both his brother and father are in the police force in Russia, so they are not going to be the most accepting even if as a country.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Shane has his own problems that are, frankly, mostly of his own making.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I mean...
And the stress he puts himself through.
Yeah, I feel like Shane's character, I had to warm up to him. I enjoyed Ilya right from the very beginning because he's such a sarcastic pain in the ass. Like, he's just sassy and just causing problems all the time. Like, I enjoy that. I enjoy that personality. Shane is like what Ilya says, boring. And I mean, he gets better as it goes along. You actually start to see a little bit more personality out of him. But I feel like he's like, I'm going to follow the rules and I'm going to eat the right things and I'm going to do everything in this particular way. And no, I can't have that drink. Why would I do that? And nothing to say about drinking, but he follows the rules. And here
I loved that about Shane. I had like a soft spot in my heart for Shane.
Okay. Well, I mean, and then you see the comparison of the two characters. We have Ilya, who's a troublemaker, and then you've got Shane, who's boring. And, and then the two of them together, they work out this kind of awesome thing. And it's very cool dynamic.
It's not book canon, but Jacob Tierney, the director, and Hudson Williams, the actor who plays Shane, both decided to play Shane as autistic.
Oh, okay.
And have that like closed expression, like everything is in his eyes, be a part of his characterization.
Oh, okay. But that's not openly not open knowledge.
No,
but I can see it now that you're saying that.
And there's a little bit of analysis too, looking at Shane's family about where that might have come from. Okay. Because his mom also gives off some of the indicators where, hockey is her special interest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And totally. And she's very kind of up in his face about, well, we got to do this promotion and you've got to get this sponsorship.
And looking at it through those different lenses, there's a lot of interesting ways to see that, autism isn't the same all in every expression.
Right.
And so whether or not that's true, it's you can see things that aren't said through different lenses. And it's a good way to think about different things with that.
Sure.
Can I gush about the boys for a minute?
Yeah, let's do it.
So Connor Story, the actor who plays Ilya Rozanov, doesn't speak a word of Russian.
Right, which I didn't realize until after the fact. I was reading about other people's comments that his Russian accent is actually really quite good. And I thought it was, but I don't know anybody that's Russian, so I couldn't say. But
yep, he started learning a Russian dialect about 2 weeks before filming.
No way.
Wow.
Filming only took, I think, 36 or 37 days.
Wow.
And he had an entire Russian monologue for 5 minutes in episode 5.
Oh, yeah.
And it's terrifying, the extent to which he was able to build that.
Oh my gosh.
It's so impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like his lips. That was the first thing I noticed. I was just like, goodness, look at his lips. Those are beautiful lips.
Well, I feel like this might be one of the reasons why the whole sports romance trend is here, is because they're all very fit.
Oh, I mean, they're fit and they're pretty to look at.
They're fit, they're pretty, they're ultra jacked.
Yeah.
It's okay, this makes sense. This translates.
Yes. I mean, it's good for everybody.
Yeah.
Just give it a look. Definitely.
Yep. I love the progression of their connection with each other and how they sort of explore that exclusively through sex for so many years.
Yeah.
The show and the book is interesting because of how little time they actually get to spend with each other.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, it's basically hey, I'm in town.
Yeah.
Can you meet up? And they have a few hours maybe, and then they're off again to somewhere else.
Somebody went through and counted, and it was before the events of episode 6, they were if we average about 2 hours per time that they're together, because sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it's longer. They've seen each other about 30 hours.
Okay.
In the course of all of this.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
And it's
over years of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what, at least
Can't even remember how much it is, but yeah.
Started in 2008 and Skip Kisses 2017, so 9 years.
9 years, almost a decade. I can't do math today.
I also really enjoyed that Elia's character is probably the most emotionally unavailable, and yet he's the one who starts kind of asking for a little bit more. In not so many words, but hey, I'll make you a sandwich, and how about you just
God, the tuna melt.
how about you stay? And then Shane blows it, and then he has to
freaks out.
Then he has to apologize about it later, and I'm like, God, Shane, what the heck?
Shane freaks out so hard he gets his first girlfriend.
Oh, I know. He runs right out and gets a girlfriend, and then she's like, hey, you might be gay, and he was like, like nobody has ever thought about it before. It's
so
just
this is my soft spot in the books. The women of Heated Rivalry.
Period.
Including Rose Landry, but all of them. They're so good.
Oh, are they
such
really?
Full, amazing, well-rounded characters.
Nice.
In the TV show, they're amazing just in that. And they're even better in the books.
Oh, okay. I love that. Yeah.
And I'm just like, yes. There was somebody who said something about, how did we get such amazing female characters without even passing the Bechdel test?
Yeah.
And
my gosh.
It's so true.
Sure. Yeah, I remember Kip's friend. I'm not sure what her name is.
Maria or Elena?
Elena. I think it's Elena.
Elena is the one who dances with.
Right.
Yes.
That's the one. Yeah. That whole conversation that she has with him when she's talking to Scott Hunter about Kip loves you. You need to get yourself together because this is not fair to stay in the closet about this and hide him away. That was amazing and uncomfortable and pretty much perfect in every way.
He deserves sunshine, and so do you.
Yes.
Is such an iconic line.
Yeah.
You
because
have watched this 3 times.
I have, including this weekend.
Well, because everybody needs that friend, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody needs that person that's going to be like, you know what, you're going to hate me for a minute, but I got to go do this thing. So I'll see you in a few.
And it's also a really cool showrunner moment because he built that scene and a lot of things in episode 3 around the eventual kiss in 5. The song playing in the background as Scott and Kip finally do their kiss, the lyric there is "Give me your eyes, I need sunshine," and he built that back into episode 3.
Can we maybe circle back or just talk about the music?
Oh,
so good.
So good.
Music is so good.
First of all, there was so much feist in it.
Yes, who's Canadian.
There's a
lot of Canadians
and also
showing up.
at that time period, when I look back to, everything's kind of based in the 2000
the early to mid 2010s. Yeah.
Yes. That's what I was listening to during that time period. So it felt like coming home in a way. Of course, I'm not in Montreal or whatever at those time periods, but the music was so comfy to me.
The fashion is also very of the time, and a lot of people criticize it.
Yeah.
So that's so weird. It's no, that's so 2016.
Yeah. Because things were weird then. Trust me.
Yes.
I was there.
They did a really great job of making it really clear that that time period is different. It's not right now. Through the music, through the fashion choices, and that was
through the cell phones and the text bubbles.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Which I love the conversations via text because there's this great, of course, chemistry between the two of them, and Elia's just messing with Shane the whole time, which I love it. It's great.
I mean, that's such a great flirty, slow burn to have all these text messages over years. I mean,
Yeah.
there's
Under
a
fake
romance right
names.
there.
Did you just sext me before I go out to play a game against you? What is this? You can't do that. But yeah.
So as the two who are joining the fandom relatively recently, how did you feel when episode 3 hit and Scott and Kip became the main characters of the episode?
I was surprised. Again, like I said, I was like, who the hell are these people? What is going on right now? But now I know. I understand why why they did it. And it was a great story too. It just took me a minute to be like, okay, why are we being introduced? I mean, I knew we had seen Scott Hunter. It is Scott. I don't know why I keep blanking on his name. We had seen him in a couple other, scenarios before, but now all of a sudden he's the main focus. So
I loved it. I think it was really smart too, because you had this like slow burn going on with the rivals, and then you had something that was more heartfelt.
Yeah.
Kip and Scott.
Yes.
Yeah. Together we get Skip.
It's okay. Skip is the ship name. It's fine. We know.
But they're just so endearing and adorable, and just, oh my gosh, like I was so drawn to that pair.
Yeah.
I love Kip and Scott, and I love them in the show, and then I read the books, and I like Game Changer better than Heated Rivalry.
Same, honestly.
As a book.
Okay.
I think I got through Heated Rivalry, and because I was already attached to them. Mm-hmm. I think I would have had a much harder time with it if I wasn't already attached to Ilya and Shane from watching the show.
Okay.
So
that's interesting. I wonder why the director decided to focus more on their relationship.
So they are very much the through line of the series.
Okay.
They get the last book in the series, and now the other last book in the series, now that she's writing a seventh. Ilya especially shows up in all of the books along the way.
Okay.
Book 5 takes place on Ilya's team, just with a different pair.
Okay.
So they are the story.
Okay.
And especially for a TV world, you don't want to have 12 main characters.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it's also just their story has a longer time span, which is easier to fill out into
a series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Series.
Well, and I heard that there's going to be a season 2.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if we will see more of Scott and Kip and more of other characters, because it sounds like that's a focus in the books.
So the actors for Scott and Kip, Robbie GK and Francois Arnaud, have already signed on for season 2. They are going to be in it in some capacity. They've started casting for Troy Barrett, who's one of the main characters of book 5.
Okay.
So they will continue telling the other stories in the middle.
Okay.
I don't know if they'll all be pocket episodes the same way that the Scott and Kip episode was.
Gotcha.
But I think the plan is for all of them to be in there. When he optioned for the show, it was optioned for all of the books of the series.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, that sounds great.
Yeah.
That's good, because I really liked book 3, and I'm really liking book 4. And I simply, by logical assumption here, have to assume I'm going to like book 5.
5's my favorite in the series.
So, I hope we see all of them, because I love them all.
Yeah. Was there anything that we didn't like?
No.
I think it's pretty flawless.
Yeah.
I loved the cottage episode and how soft and gentle it was, and how their ending was this soft place to land, which is why I'm also glad that we got the Scott and Kip storyline of the big Hollywood moment, because you can have that and then also recognize that the end result of Shane and Ilya's story for season 1 of just coming out to Shane's parents and accepting that this is going to be a real relationship for them could be this quiet moment.
Yeah.
I also think for both Scott and Kip, and then Shane and Ilya, we get to see these amazing parents who support their kids so well, and that was really beautiful, specifically in the cottage episode. But even with Kip, he's got this dad that's always in his corner, and it's so good.
The book's different.
So
and
oh,
it's
I
better.
love Kip's dad.
Oh, really?
The book's different and it's better.
Okay.
Oh man.
Only because Kip's dad is much more prevalent in the book.
Oh.
You get scenes of Scott coming to family dinner
Yeah.
and things
that's
like that.
nice.
Where
Yeah,
that just couldn't be included in a pocket episode because they weren't the main point of the show.
And I think that's part of I really like book 1, and I am a little bummed that we didn't get more of what is in book 1, because I think it does take a little bit away from their story that we lost things from that book.
I do have something I didn't like.
Oh.
And it's about Scott and Kip, and it's because in the books, their relationship takes place over 3, maybe 4 months.
Okay.
It is a really rushed thing.
Yeah, and it seemed that way in the show as well.
In the show, they meet in November 2013, because it was a few months before the Sochi Olympics.
Okay.
And the kiss at the Stanley Cup Awards wasn't until May 2017.
Oh, okay.
They've said the timelines are a little weird
off,
and a little not correct.
Okay.
And at this point, we just kind of have to deal with it.
Yeah.
But
So that is the one thing that I would have liked, was more clarity on like what happened in between.
Right.
Because you finish episode 3 sort of in a limbo state of where they stand.
Yeah.
And
Scott is feeling super bad about himself at that particular juncture.
Yeah, and Kip isn't sure if he can commit himself to someone who he would have to go back in the closet for.
Yeah.
So to go right from that to the next time we're seeing them be the big I love you kiss, I wanted something in between.
Okay.
because it doesn't quite match, like, even like the conversations and reactions of the books. Like, the book story doesn't quite make sense with the extended timeline there.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
So that's the only thing that I would have liked to see a little bit more. It needed a scene in between.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to finish watching the whole thing. My goodness. What on earth? The time is such a, minuscule thing in my life, but I've been enjoying it very, very much.
I'm excited to watch it for the 3rd time this week.
Oh, there you go. Very cool. All right. So that is all for now. Hey, if you have anything to say about Heated Rivalry, holler at us. Let us know what you think. And until then, we will see you next time. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Distracted Librarians.
Many thanks to BCTV for their support in recording, editing, and releasing this podcast, and to the Friends of the Library for sponsoring closed captioning on every episode.
if you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to reach out to us at distracted@btpl.org.
Until then, keep those pages turning and those screens lighting up. We'll catch you in the next episode.
The views and opinions expressed in the Distracted Librarians podcast do not necessarily reflect those of Bloomfield Township Public Library, Bloomfield Community Television, the Birmingham Area Cable Board, or its producers or production staff.